Are we live? Yes. Okay. Good. Okay. Hi. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to our very first episode of MIHRM Insight. We are so excited. This is our brand new platform where we are going to um, showcase insights related to workplace issues such as leadership, challenges that we face, and also real decisions that are made by organizations who are facing lots of challenges in the current era.
Exactly, Ajit. I mean, it is not cheery, ladies and gentlemen. It is also not an HR textbook. All right. MIHRM Insight is definitely something that happens on the ground. All right. What the kind of the decisions that the leaders make, the mistakes that organizations repeat, and how we can do better. So it is a platform where all of you are able to meet the experts in HR matters, right? And then get the insights from them.
Thank you, Dr. Esrina. So, MIHRM Insight is brought by MIHRM, Malaysian Institute of Human Resource Management, Malaysia leading professional body for HR practitioners.
Okay. And just a quick note, ladies and gentlemen, for the viewers out there, if you're looking for HR training, industrial relations support, or HR consultation for your organization, do reach out to MIHRM. The team here will definitely be happy to support and assist you.
Okay, today we are going to kickstart this program, this topic with a very interesting topic which keeps most of the CEOs, HR leaders, and also line managers awake throughout the night.
Okay, and guess what? The topic is none other than industrial relations.
Yes, and it's a hot topic. Our theme today is talking about industrial relation in 2026. What every organization must get right.
And of course, today, this very afternoon or evening, right, we have two highly respected speakers or voices in the industrial relations.
Yeah, first and foremost, we would like to welcome our first speaker joining us today, a renowned speaker in fact, who has been speaking on many platforms. Let's welcome Miss Young Arif Tuan Peter Raj with us.
Okay. Now, allow me to introduce a little bit of Tuan Peter or Mr. Irutaya Raj, or in this talk, we will address him as Mr. Peter. All right. He is the former chairman of the Industrial Court with about 14 years of service. He has adjudicated numerous dismissal cases under Section 20 of the Industrial Relations Act 1967, trade disputes involving collective agreements and complaints under the section of 8(2)(a).
He has also presided over cases across Sabah, Sarawak, and Kuala Lumpur, and brings deep experience not only from the court but also from a perspective of a senior HR practitioner who has been practicing in various multinational companies.
So, of course, now you've heard of who our expert, all right? The other expert that will be joining us this afternoon is also Mr. Simon Benjamin. And I think most of you or some of you have met him before. He is the president of MIHRM.
Simon has worked closely with organizations across industries and has led or held various leading organization roles, and has also been heading IR for a long period of time. Okay, with us we have got two wonderful speakers, and ladies and gentlemen, let's get started.
Right, and welcome to the MIHRM Insight, gentlemen.
Okay, Mr. Peter, to start off, you want to say something about yourself, do a short introduction.
Okay, thank you, Ajit, and also Yazrina and Mr. Simon. Before I went to industrial court, I was a HR practitioner. in multinational companies.
Interesting.
My experience is on the ground, so that helps me to deal with labor, union, collective agreements, and so on. And when I went to the bench, this has helped me a lot. I can understand their background and what are they trying to tell me. So I am with them in those kinds of issues. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Peter. Let's go back to Mr. Simon.
Yep.
Simon, you want to do a short introduction?
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Ajit and Yas, for organizing this. I think it's very timely that we have sessions like this. There are many, many questions on industrial relations. The landscape of industrial relations have changed a lot. People are moving into more employee relations, but there's a lot of compliance issues still as HR managers. They find it, they're grappling and how to resolve it. Afraid, or rather that matters going to court. At MIHRM here, we are trying to see whether we can resolve disputes amicably and settle it, advise, and make it a win-win situation. All right. For us, our members are employees as well, HR managers. We are also with companies. We stand as a neutral body, so we'll give suggestions and even advice on a neutral base. But we want both sides to be working together and sorting matters out. Going to the industrial court can be an expensive affair, can be a long drawn affair. So where we can help resolve a resolution for both parties on a win-win situation, we are here to assist. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic, Simon. So thank you. Okay, for the audience who have just signed up with us, you are able to sign up using any social media platform. You can come on using LinkedIn. You can come in using Facebook, using Insta, using TikTok, and also using our main streamline login as well. So this is the first time that we are bringing this show over to you, and it's MIHRM commitment that is going to run on a monthly basis with interesting topics. Okay, so this is supposed to be a two-way interaction. So we also welcome audience to say hi. We have our first hi from Rohiza. Hi, Rohiza. Thank you for joining us. So for every participant, it would be nice to say a hi to see how we are interacting if you are there. And we are going to now start with segments and ask relevant questions to our two speakers. As we go along, you are allowed to put in your comments and also allowed to ask questions as well. We want interaction from the audience as well. Yeah. So starting off, our first segment is setting the context right. This is about big picture in IR landscape. And this question I want to address to Mr. Peter. Okay, industrial relations has changed significantly over last few years. What are the biggest shift organization in Malaysia must prepare in 2026?
Okay, this is a very interesting topic, because you must understand in the present time there is a stronger worker protection and labor law reforms are taking place in 2026. So you have, for example, formerly it was a traditional dismissal cases, but now a situation has come where things like workplace bullying is now legally recognized as an offense. You have things like unified laws of Peninsular Malaysia together with Sabah and Sarawak. It's another area that is coming up. And also legal recognition of gig workers is also coming up. And implications for organizations is that you have to accordingly amend your policies to be in line with this development. This is very critical, right? You have also like wage structures and progressive wage policies in line with this development. And these are issues that employers are struggling. It's not a very easy and fine, smooth sailing topics. They are to be wrestled with and get the right perspective, and that's the only way we can handle that. And then you have things like skills, reskilling, and quality. And the other issue also you have foreign workers and ethical compliance. How much of rules and regulations are being put in the recruitment of foreign workers? Not a simple job. And then you also have flexible working hours issues. So this is a very dicey thing. The employees might want to say, for us, we also want to be benefit also from these flexible working hours. They will complain that employers are deciding for us whether we can or we cannot. That kind of issues will come in. How do you handle it? So the then you have like so in summary under this topic, my view is workers' protection and the laws are coming in. You have like progressive wages. Then you also have skills and reskilling. Because of technological development, you can't be remaining in the old sphere. You must accordingly move forward as technology moves forward. So this is something which a lot of employers may be grappling with vis-a-vis in respect of industrial relations. No more the traditional way of saying, I handle this A, B, C, D. You have to think out of the box. And not only out of the box, but within the law.
Agreed.
That's very critical. Huh? And so these are some of the issues which we will be dealing with in 2026 in a much more aggressive manner.
Agreed. Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much. Sorry, Mr. Peter. I like the part where he talks about workplace bully, United Leave, gig workers. These are all HR current challenges. Not forgetting skilled and reskilled workers. And a very big phenomena, which is flexible working arrangements. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to dwell in all these topics as we go along for today's conversation. But before that, let me acknowledge some of the highs that we have received. Fantastic. We are seeing people interacting with us. We have got Sinho saying hi. We have got Silva, who is Raju from Penang. Hi, Raju. Thank you for dialing in. We have got Dr. Chitra, one of our strong supporters in our Education Council. She is saying hi. Hello, Dr. Chitra. Well done, MIHRM, on this great initiative. Thank you. And we plan to run this on a monthly basis. And we have got Bala Murli. This is one of our students who's saying hi. Hi, Bala. Hi. Okay, thank you. So we have set the ground state. So let's continue with our questions.
Yep. You say thanks, Ajit. Now, for those of you who has not say hi, it'll be good again if we can hear from you to see who's out there. All right, listening to us on this particular platform. Now, we've heard Mr. Peter was saying that there's a lot of shift, right? That is going to for the companies, and they have to face a lot of things, looking into new things. And with that, Mr. Simon, you're a very experienced person, particularly, right? And that's why you're leading MIHRM. So you, the companies today, because there's so many issues that they need to look at and keep up. And what Peter was saying just now, you have to think out of the box, particularly. So do you think that the companies today are more exposed to the industrial relations risk compared to before? And if yes, why is it?
Okay, thank you, Yas, for highlighting this. Yes, companies are more exposed today than before. We have a lot of compliances issue. I think the very start was the amendments to the labor laws, where now everybody is under the law. And up to 4,000 ringgit, you can claim overtime and retrenchment benefits. So the cost for the employer has also gone up. But how does he balance that with productivity? So we thought that was the end of the story. And then suddenly comes the minimum wage. It has shot up to 1,007. And there are even discussions of the minimum wage going to about 2,000 ringgit. Discussions that was mentioned by the minister, the ex-minister some time ago. So with all this pressure and our whole economy, where SME makes about 85% of the economy, there's a lot of cost to the employer, and if labor and compliances go in, it's squeezing the employers in one part. But let's look at the other part itself. Economically, with prices going up, it is also affecting the rakyat. So it's not a very win-win situation now. But we are still struggling. The PMX is trying his best to, given 100 ringgit at the end of February or something, we'll get something, Sarah Hidup and all that. So all these are coming into place. Now, the industrial relations landscape has also changed. Now, cases that go to the industrial relations department, if settled, not settled, automatically goes to court. So that is also a pressure on employers and employees. Together with this, like mentioned earlier by Dr. Peter, regarding the technology, AI. AI has also brought a lot of good things, but also a lot of hiding things as well. For example, people are getting retrenched. All right? We have EIS coming in to support them for a while. What happens after that? If you look like countries like Singapore, Taiwan, Hong Kong, they anticipated retrenchment, but there's a lot of reskilling, upskilling done. Retrenchment is not the end of the story for an employee. It is actually, I feel it's a new beginning to adapt new things. Now we have got new rules, we have got new tools that are coming up. We have got a generation of young people who are joining the workforce, Gen Z, the baby boomers are people like me, the Gen Z and the others, they're all coming in. How do we handle them? Should the work scope be changed? We talked about flexible work hours, but very surprisingly, it started off well. But most companies are now actually reducing flexible hours and getting people to come back to work. It is because the ladies at home, they say they can only start their work after 5 o'clock. Other than that, they are busy at home. So all these things are affecting labor. All these things are affecting the IR landscape and also employers. One very prominent thing that's also affecting people today in the workforce is mental health. That is something and which has been seen seriously in affecting employees. And top it up with bullying and harassment, it creates mental health, and you find that people are shying away or they are resigning from jobs without reason. So this is something that we need to address and look at it seriously. This has started in the West about 30 years ago. We didn't take it up seriously until the COVID hit us, and then we found these issues coming up. So this is the situation now in the country. Cases are going to be referred to court directly, upskilling and reskilling, as the employer got money to upskill and reskill. In time to come, he may take new workers again, different form of workers, and then you find mental health is coming in. Does the flexible wage, is it working or not working? These are the challenges that we are facing now in the country, in the landscape of industrial relations.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Simon. I mean, it is quite, there's a lot there, particularly, right? There's a lot there, meaning that, because the world is changing. We are going to the technology, the generation, the people are changing, the way they view things are changing. So there's a lot of risk and there's a lot of shifts that's currently going to happen, particularly. So companies basically has to be prepared. I mean, policies has to be there. And then what are the kind of actions so that the employee and the employer can be protected, Right. So thank you, Mr. Simon, for that. I do hope that the audience are able to capture, some of the things that Simon has already uh, touched upon, because it is something that we need to really understand the ecosystem, particularly, and what is going on, and be prepared, because risks obviously are going to be there, but how we overcome it, that we need to really look into. Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, this brings us to our next question, and I like this question very much because I am also a HR practitioner, and this is always at the back of my mind. Okay, my question is for Mr. Peter. Many leaders still think IR is purely an HR issue. Why is this mindset dangerous?
There there are two separate ways of approaching this. In HR related, it's more administrative, so to speak.
Yeah,
That means you are dealing with hiring, you're dealing with wage policies or salary management, and these are the things that recruitment and so on. Traditionally, that is the approach HR definition has taken. But industrial relations is a bit more complex. You're dealing with human beings. For example, if an employee does not come to work without, in other words, is absent from work without permission, the law allows you to take action against him.
yeah,
But the action taken must be proportionate.
Uh-huh.
It cannot be disproportionate.
correct.
You must call and talk to him. This is important. For the first time, he may not, many people have got terms and conditions of policy never transmitted to the employees. There are 1,001 times they ask the question, are you aware that there is such a thing called terms and conditions of employment? The answer is, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
So this is very critical. And there you have one part, you are absent without permission. So this is a very complex thing which the HR may not be conversant to deal with. Okay, just giving an example, one example. And if you are talking about there is a sort of, what shall I say, manipulation or falsification of medical certificates. It's a complex matter. So the IR training, the person who is trained in IR, dealing with this kind of issue will be quite different from an HR practitioner,
Correct.
speaking. But again, on the other side, you have dual role as well. HR also deal with IR. So they are, because of manpower requirement, one has to deal with everything. So that's also an issue. Okay? That's how I look at it.
Very good, very good.
Ajit, I think I can relate with what Mr. Peter was saying. When employees, when they do a lot of MC, whether it's valid or not, so those things are quite questionable. Now, for the audience out there, I saw VVQ. Thank you so much when you say hello. But we would like to encourage, okay, VVQ, VV from the Waymaker Academy. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. But to those of you who are out there, come and post the questions. We have pedestrian experts here. They are here to assist you. If you have any questions, by all means, okay, shout out in the comments so that we will also be able to address. If not, it will be just me and Ajit who will be posing questions to them. Where
Exactly.
else, where else? This is the platform. You guys, it's not easy to meet these experts, basically. All right. Now, Mr. Simon, like you said just now, the world has changed. All right. In fact, we are not able. So for the audience, if you must know that I'm not there with the gentleman, basically, I'm somewhere else at home, doing this online thing. So previously before the COVID, this was not a norm, right? But now my question to Mr. Simon is related to the technology. Like, how are employee awareness and social media, all right, influencing the way workplace disputes emerge today? How does it influence? Because I do see in the office, particularly, I'm talking about the government sector because I'm from there. All right, there are times when the employee are taking time while doing the work, or even at my apartment at the guardhouse. They're supposed to do work, but they were scrolling their phone, that kind of thing. So, Mr. Simon, what's your opinion on this?
Okay. I believe that the social media is important. You can look at it in various ways. The good side of it, it is important. Communication is free flowing. Awareness is there. People are understanding of their rights more. Employees, young employees, are also looking at the internet and they're spending time. It's good. It's good. It's creating knowledge. It's creating awareness. Very good. But it also has this hindsight. If you go and even go to a restaurant and a family is having dinner, all of them are on their handphones. And
Yep.
I have a rule at home with my children: handphones one side. After dinner, then pick up your headphones. So when we eat together, we make sure that headphones are put away. It has this good side. It has this high side. It is also affecting health. But social media is something that you can't run away from. I always say this. I always say this during my talk. When I wanted to date my wife, I used to send a letter to the post box, and after that came the telephone, and after that came the handphone. I don't know what's going to come next. People say we're going to get holograms, and you're going to speak to holograms. You're going to speak like people. They look like ghosts. You'll be speaking to him. So things are changing, and the young people are adapting to this very fast. So you find there is a gap. You find that we, as maybe baby boomers or Gen X, Gen Y, and they're all in the company, we need to adapt, and not take it that the youngsters may be still learning. You'll be surprised they know a lot of things. All we need is to give them the courage to say things, give them the empowerment, they will do very well. So it is taking a shift. And today, what I do, I get my seniors to become coaches to the young people. And the young people in turn will teach them what is this technology all about.
Yep.
I think one of the things we have, baby boomers and people like those above 50s and 60s, the fear of technology, whether it's going to replace me. It's not going to replace. Why?
Correct.
Human beings cannot be replaced.
Yep.
Machines will come and go. Even we suffered, we went through the COVID, we went through world wars, we went through this. We are still here, thank God. We are still here, and it will go on. Civilization will go on after many, many things. So it has its positive impact. It also has its negative impacts. And you find sometimes communication over the handphone can be misinterpreted. I may think that person is rude, but that's his short form of saying thank you, So I think it's a matter of understanding the generations. And that's why we are talking in the area of industrial relations today. Now, some companies have moved into and calling it employee relations.
Yep.
They're talking about engagement rather than when you engage. And when people are more engaged, the disciplinary problems gets reduced. Now, I have an example. I was in Sunway taking care of the 13 industries, and I was the head of employee relations and industrial relations. We did a lot more employee relations, engaging people. And when people are engaged, there's less misconduct. And true enough, the misconduct dropped drastically because people felt they were a part of the organization. That's the trend that we are going now, though with all these compliances. But I think like what Dr. Peter was saying just now, a lot of communication, a lot of eye-to-eye communication, a lot of showing that you care makes a difference to the people that are going to come into the organization. It's not difficult getting the Gen Z and the young people to come in. There must be an element of care I found that made a difference. One of the things one day when I was in Singapore and I was sitting with a group of young people, they were all talking among themselves. Hey, this company takes care of the dogs and cats. They help the poor people. I want to join this kind of company. Young people are very attracted to CSR. They're very attracted. You take care of them and take care of society. So this is one thing I would like to share with employers today. Start the CSR and get the young people involved. They will stay with you and they will be happy to do things. I remember we went to visit yes, can you remember? We went to visit the homeless in Puduraya and all that.
Yes, we
And
did.
we saw a lot of young people excited to do all these things. And now I'm getting calls and asking, when is the next project they want to come and do it? So attract them this way. They are not bad. We must do away with, they don't understand, they are still young, but they are brilliant.
Yep.
They know where to look where we cannot look. So let's compromise, let's understand, let's communicate, let's show a little bit of love to our people. It will make a world of a difference. It will make a world.
Actually, we were actually one of the baby boomers. The few baby boomers, most of them when we were visiting, when we were at Kenchara Food at that moment of time. Right. So just to recap what Simon was saying, at the end of the day, right, the world is changing and people are using social media, to be visible and using real time. So the office particularly, or industrial relations in that matter, is no longer confined, right, to the HR departments or to the unions, but they must also be aware that these are the platform where the young or the people can share their grievances or they want to get support. So it's basically like Mr. Simon was saying, to strike a balance, all right, not to punish them particularly. All right. So I'm back to Ajit now. So I'm sure that's something that,
I totally agree with what Simon said. In nutshell, Simon is talking about have a purpose of what we do. Gone were the days where HR just drive activities, and if you do that, your activities are just going to be of waste of time. So everything that we drive, we need to have a purpose, like what Mr. Simon just mentioned. With purpose, people are connected, people come to deliver, people come to participate as well. So we have a question here from Raju. But prior to that, we have Vivi saying thank you for sharing, for having us. Great session sharing apparently. Thank you. We would like your feedback for the audience. This kind of feedback is very inspiring for us actually. First time doing MIHRM TV. Thank you. Please bring it on. If you have any questions, also please feel free to post them at our chat group as well. So let's move to Mr. Raju's question. This is for Mr. President and Yang Arif Tuan Peter Raj. Do you think IR matters can be avoided / minimized if HR proactively manage policies and provide HR guidance / coaching to business stakeholders? Okay, we start with Mr. Yang Arif Tuan Peter first.
Fully agree with him that. Can you just load the question? Just put the question. Okay. So it cannot be avoided, can be minimized. It can be minimized. And I think proactively managing the HR policy, it's a very good thing. Rather than looking at it in a negative way or compartmentalized approach. To say that HR cannot get involved with IR. This is a very dangerous thing. Agreed. You must complement each other. You cannot have one person just dealing with one matter all the time. That there might come a time when a person is away for duty for somewhere other place, and you are there. You should be able to complement. rather than saying, this is not my job, this is your job, I'm not going to be of any use here and not going to do any coaching or assistance to be provided. That is not a very professional or practical approach to take. You must be able to step in, and that's what the world is today.
Agreed.
Right? So that is how we can work together. That's the best approach to take.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good. Well said. Simon, your comment on this?
I think what Peter has said is true. You cannot differentiate IR and HR. IR is HR. IR is basically a relationship between in the past it was unions and all, but today IR with compliance, we are trying to comply to matters, but end of the day, it is the relationship. And
Correct.
HR and IR can complement each other very, very well. Activities, as I said earlier, engagement. And sometimes I learned this over the years, which I used to drive with unions and all that. But I think a point of caring, though it may, the HR who is doing it must show that they genuinely care. Now, most times I see HR actually wear two hats. And I always say this to Koljit as well. To me, HR is not human resource. It's a high risk job. You do also, you get it from the employer. You don't do also, you kena juga. So it's a high risk job, but it's a very balanced and delicate job which can impact people. So the HR, if it's right, you need to tell the employees. And we also need to tell our employers, look, sir, this is the law and this has to be done. Now, some employers are taken away. They will say, I am the law, I pay you salary. But I think when they see that turnover is coming, they feel good people are leaving, they're slowly beginning to realize and come back to HR and say, how do I retain these people? Retention is now a very, very, very important thing. They're getting the best people to recruit, but they're not getting the best people to retain them. And that's where HR plays a very significant role. Many ways to retain, and HR with their initiatives, with their whatever activities they have, must look at the long-term effect. How do I keep these people? How do I keep these youngsters? Now, we work in companies 15, 20 years. Today, if you can keep a youngster for 2 years, it's an achievement. I even have youngsters telling me, sir, I only want to work with you 1 year. I said, why? It's because I want to save up the money. I want to travel. Then I want to work in New Zealand to collect apples. Their perspectives have changed. And we need to realize that our children are also like that. I think maybe we brought them up differently where we were brought up. But today, the real innovation is coming from the young people. And here where I work, my ideas come from the young. They say, why don't we do it this way, sir? We save 2 days of doing this. And I realized, oh God, I didn't know this. But they've used technology, they've used social media, they've used even other forms of technology to help. Now, technology is not a bad thing. At first, I kept away. It's not a bad thing. But then I learned it's an enabler for me to make my job easier. It's an enabler to make my job easier and HR becomes seamless. Communication is all around. And we want to show that we also care for you. We look into like medical aspects of things. We look even gyms, and that trend is changing. We got to adapt with the changes, or we're going to be left behind. Today they say retrenchment. I'm not saying retrenchment. I always tell people, hey, it's a new beginning. But they said, I've got children in the colleges to pay. And I tell them, don't worry, Malaysia still can survive. If the foreigners can come here and live long and survive, why can't we? It's a matter of mindset, changing our mindset and doing whatever work needs to be done and getting used to it.
Very good. Thank you, Simon. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. I agree with you. It's about communication at the end of the day. When we want to do good relations, have good relations with the employee, the employer and the employee, it's all about how you go transparent and how you communicate to them. Now, for the audience, keep the questions coming. We love to see the questions. Now, we do have a kind of a question that I would like to pose to both experts, right? This is from Nagaya. He or she, yes, employee engagement is a critical role of HR. Many HR people are not aware of this, particularly those who have started from rank and file with no proper HR training. Do you have any comments on that? Do you agree with the comments that's been given, Dr. Peter or Mr. Simon?
The word engagement is a very positive word,
Yep.
meaning to say that if they want to encourage them to share what they know and not to discourage them from not contributing to the HR function. They may not be an expert in that area, but nevertheless, their input is something that is valuable, which will make that system progress much more. It's very important for rank and file. They see you how you manage them. That is how they will grow to manage their colleagues along their side. It's very critical. What you teach me, I will teach them, so to speak. But if I teach them the wrong thing, I'm going to teach them the wrong thing.
Exactly. I agree to that, right? Yeah. Because leadership, so that's where leadership comes in. Mr.
Yes.
Simon, do you have any comments on that as well?
Now, employee engagement is a key. I agree with you, Nia. Yeah, I agree with you that many HR are not aware of this. I was an industrial relations man in Sunway, but my boss kept talking about employee relations. Maybe when he went overseas, he learned it and he came back and started. But when I looked at it, I found, hey, that was one way I could reduce a lot. I can create communication. The annual dinner, the team family is all fun and good, but they wanted communication. So we started a communication where we sent SMS from the very beginning. This was 10 years ago. We started sending SMS, and those going back for Hari Raya, we said drive carefully, and we said everybody, we've got a new. So when the communication started I was able to get the whole group in the 13 industries with one voice. Then I started to think of something. How do I keep these people? We give them everything and they still leave. And one day people were leaving. My boss, Tan Sri Jeffrey Chia, together with my other boss, was telling me, Simon, we give them everything. Why they still leave? Are we doing something wrong? Or you guys are not doing your job? So we were thinking hard, why were people leaving? And we found it was the younger people who were leaving. And we came up with various factors. For example, we found that the leadership was not trained to engage. The leadership were not. So we trained the leadership. And one of their KPIs was turnover. Is there's a turnover in your company? We need to know. Okay, that's one. Number two, what I did, I had these exit interviews, and I found it was not effective. Why are you leaving? People say better off, family sick and all that. And then I said something is not right. So I decided to do a post-interview. 2 months after they have left, we start calling them. Hey, why did you really leave? Oh, my boss is harassing me. He's inviting me out every time. I can't take it. Then we found out that the boss was sexually harassing the staff. So we had to remove the boss. So this post-interview I found was more effective. People were willing to open up and tell us why they are leaving. But the biggest factor we found was leadership and managers. So we came back and trained the managers. And I believe now in Sunway, the percentage of turnover has dropped drastically. We're able to identify where the leaks were. One of the other things I did was we worked together with Group Public Affairs, and we had this thing called a day out, where we invite family members to come and watch their daddy and mommy working. So they come, the children, they'll come with their mom or dad, and then they will come and they will watch where their dad and mom works, they feel proud. Two reasons we did that. Number one, we wanted an engagement. We wanted the wives to push the husbands, hey, you got a good job in a good place, go to work, don't, so that was one. Number two, in the minds of the child, we planted Sunway in their minds. So we had a future talent pool. We had a future talent pool. And so we do this now every 1-2 years. We bring the family members. Then after that, we host them for lunch at the hotel. It doesn't matter the quantity that comes, the hotel can still use. And we found that that engagement was very successful. People had a purpose to come to work. People had a reason. Their family was taken care of. We even extended help if families. Then we also found people were falling sick. So we had this Ironman contest for those who lose weight, then those who give up smoking and all this. And that also pushed our medical costs down. So it was a win-win situation on both sides. And it's still running in Sunway today. So since some of the things we need, like somebody said, looking out of the box, not just doing the annual dinner and family day, it's still the same thing. But what more when you care for the employee? It makes a difference. And the youngsters will stay. Get youngsters to sit in your committees. Get youngsters to sit in your small committees, and you'll see the leadership coming through them. Fantastic. All right.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, I think what Simon said was spot on, and it's also a learning process for HR practitioners. It's more about genuine care, and also to get the leadership to be part of this activity. So the training activity happen so that we have lower turnover. We look at our exit interviews, and like what Mr. Simon have mentioned, not just look at the exit interview now, do it more genuinely, probably after they have left and things like that. So I like this part where he talks about a lot of wonderful activities in the organization to engage people. So with that, I have a question here from Bala. Okay, this talks about organizing employee engagement activities, exactly like what Simon was talking about earlier. Shall not fall on HR shoulders alone, rather involve of all parties will make an impact. So I believe, Mr. Simon, your comments would be, this statement is all right, all good?
Yes. It's not HR. We have managers also doing their own internal activities.
Agreed.
And they mix with the young people. They take them out for lunch. The feedback I was getting from the leaders, hey, you're making us feel young again. We're with the young people and we are thinking young. And that communication helped them. They could relate with their children better. Sometimes the youngsters don't listen to parents, but today they could relate, because when we have this engagement, some of them took it back and started doing it at home. But I think end of the day is being genuine with them. Sometimes you need to tell the youngsters, yes, this is wrong, this is right. Sometimes we delay in telling them, and they'll make so much of a mistake. When we want to track back, it's a bit too late. So genuine concern for the employee, every employee, irrespective, red and yellow, black and white, diversity, be fair to all. Then HR makes a difference in the organization.
Very good. So we agree that everybody should be involved, not only HR, and irregardless, as an organization, everybody needs to play a part so that we get a better impact. Fantastic. Thank you, Bala, for the comment. Thank you, Mr. Simon, for the feedback. And we also have got Raju thanking young Arif Tuan Peter Raj for a great point that you highlighted earlier.
Okay, I believe it's just a collective effort. So everyone, when you're in an organization, you really have to look collectively and communicate collectively. Now, I have a question that I think I'm going to post it to Tuan Peter, right? SY here. Thank you, SY, for your question. If someone has habit of leading reports with labor office or loading reports with labor office or industry, whenever they join or leave the company, does it mean every case will be open or the officer will side with the person?
All
Peter,
right.
if you answer that, yeah.
You said the word habit, so it is not a one-off thing. This person has got a habit of doing it. So habit, you must compare it with somebody who doesn't have this habit. Lodging reports with labor office, he probably thinks that does he understand what is the labor office function and what is its role is not. Of course, he will receive all the reports. They won't reject your report. The labor officer will not reject the report. But if IR comes to know about this person, because they are being called to the labor office, right? So I think from there they will know that what is the reason this person has got a habit of lodging reports to the labor office? What is the nature of the report? What is it about? So you have to examine that and don't get personal about it. But sometimes if it is a habit, I don't know what you mean by habit. It can mean a negative thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if it's a negative thing, then you have to correct him. By correcting him to say, what is the whole purpose of lodging reports to the labor office? It was something that is very critical that affects your terms and conditions of employment probably, or harassment or whatever. So we don't know what is that report, the nature of report that you're looking at.
So you're saying we need to look at the report particularly to see
Yes.
the weightage. But yeah, because as I posed another question as well, does labor or ID officer will review the facts and documents from both sides before deciding whether to proceed court?
That's correct. Yes. I think that's the interest of fairness. The labor officer will not make a decision until both sides he had heard what each party has said and whether what they have said is meaningful and within the confines of the law, and whether it has broken the law, then you will be notified accordingly and why. That is the job of the labor officer. He will not make a unilateral decision by just one party. He will not do that. That will not be fair.
Right.
Okay.
Right?
Very good. I think that's very clear. So we have Theo Kim Lai saying hi. So for the other audience, please keep interacting. I like this session very much. I see a lot of questions coming in. The purpose of this session is for the audience. So me and Yas is just simulating our questions to get the ball rolling. We want more questions. We want you to take this platform to pick on our experts, Mr. Raj and Young Arif, Tuan Peter. So with that, we move on to our next question. This is for Simon from Raju. Okay. Hi Simon. Indeed, AI technology is all about enable and creates efficiency and not to replace human capital. In summary, human capital are assets to an organization. So I think it's not a question, it is a comment where Raju agrees. Very good. Thank you very much, Raju. Simon, you want to elaborate a little bit about on this?
Yeah, technology is not here to replace. I think we need to get that out of our minds. It is here to help us through. And the only problem is a change of mindset, whether we can learn this up. Now, the first time I've ever touched a computer in my life, when I touched it, everything disappeared. So I was too afraid. I told my secretary, you handle it. But inadvertently, I had to learn it. I learned, and I'm so happy to learn something great. So we've got AI, we've got ChatGPT, we've got Gemini, and ChatGPT and all that helps us in our research, make things easier. But we don't totally depend on it, because total depends might create. We become lazy in our minds. We also need to check through. We also need to look through and do a little bit of research to make it look good. One of the things that I notice HR, when they do their research and when they talk to us at the C-suite, we find it difficult because end of the day, we strategize. End of the day, it must turn out to dollars and cents. That's what I feel still is lacking, is the numbers that HR must produce. So HR must concurrently not only studying HR and the laws, they must also be studying the business. They must also be understanding the numbers. This makes a very complete HR. And from HR managers, we find a lot of HR business partners arising. A lot of people are coming through, and eventually we'll have more HR directors in the country. I hope this is my hope. I did ask the minister, why are we having a lot of foreigners as HR directors in the company? Can't our locals do it? Bit patriotic lah, Malaysian, we want to be Malaysian. So he said, yes, but Simon, but these HR fellas also come with technology. They bring their technology into that. So maybe it's time to also move up one step, learn up the technology, learn up the numbers, and let these guys all go back. Because when they come as expatriates, they are paid big numbers, 50,000, 60,000. Why can't that be given to Malaysian directors and beef up our people to understand Malaysian better?
I agree to that. I think Ajit also agrees. I'm sure all the audience agrees to that. Basically, we do have a question from Ken Han Huang. All right, I think I'll post this to the both of you. Right? What's the difference? Because we were talking about engagement, and part of the engagement is culture. So Ken wants to know, what's the difference between engagement versus culture?
Okay. Now, engaging is culture is the way you do things in the company. All right. And the people who drives the culture are the leaders. They drive the culture to how they want it. Like the music plays and how we dance to the music. So the leaders do that. Now, setting up the culture, and if they find there are still gaps, people not being engaged, then you find that people are leaving because of various other reasons and they are not engaged, then we need to look at what are the factors that we need to improve on engagement. So culture is how you run the show. Engage is how you bring them and keep them going. I would say that in short. But culture is different from each leader. You have the autocratic leader right to the laissez-faire leader. But one of the leadership that I saw that is now becoming popular is the servant leadership. And I find that when leaders turun padang, it makes a difference. So the culture becoming more caring. People there also turun padang. They listen to others, they care for others. So this is a leadership issue, creating the culture and then engaging the right people and engaging the right activities to retain them. That's my thought. I hope that answers, Ken, your answer. But I believe a very strong culture specialist is actually Koljit. He runs culture in FGV. So, Koljit, do you want to share anything, Koljit?
Okay, very in the simple nutshell, engagements are activity that we drive. So very important, every activity we drive must have a purpose. So the purpose is the one that links up to the culture. So if every activity has got the right purpose and the same objective, we end up having the right culture. The problem of organization is when they treat activity as activity, they do it independently with different purpose, with sometimes with no purpose at all. Then they are expecting that to become the culture that fails. That's where you find the gap. That's where you find it not really happening. So like what Simon have mentioned earlier, engagements must come with a purpose. And this purpose need to be aligned, irregardless you are from procurement, you're from finance, you're from HR, you're from operations. Your purpose must be the same of the organization. And when all the purposes ties up together, that becomes a culture of the organization. Exactly like what Simon said, leadership style. If everyone follows the same leadership style, they are democratic, they get people's buy-in, they consult the team members, then the organization overall will have a very positive culture. But if one leader drive a different leadership method compared to another one, that's where the issues starts. The culture will never be formed. So engagement is smaller, must have the right purpose. Culture will be the bigger activity. Thank you, Simon, for bringing this up. And I think this question is so relevant because gone were the days where we go by book. We need to now drive culture so that everybody is involved. IR, HR, practitioners, and even line managers, CEOs. We must all work together to drive this purpose.
And I second to that, Ajit, because it is not easy, particularly when you talk about the what I would say from the private sectors, they would have a different set of cultures. But if you go into the government sectors, they would have a different sort of cultures. At the end of the day, engagement activities are being done to somehow, to beef up the mood or to beef up the spirit of the people. But at the end of the day, if you still have the culture that you are not able to put away, that you really have to think. So that's when what Ajit was saying, the engagement must have a purpose. If not, it wouldn't last, particularly. And like I can tell you, if you're in the government, there is this particular culture. 8 o'clock, you go for breakfast. Irregardless, you have logged in, you have gone, 8 o'clock went for breakfast, 8:30, you might not be back. All right. And someone who's new, perhaps coming from the private sector, goes in and say, we've never done that. We have breakfast at our table. But then somehow along the lines, they go into that culture. All right. So these are things that you really need to learn. And if you want to not to say destroy, to put away that kind of culture, then you have to think creatively how to go about it. Perhaps telling everyone, right? Have a breakfast, everyone. Let's have together at the office rather than going out.
Start with that first. You're right. Start with small baby steps. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Ajit, I think we have quite a number more questions, right? Basically.
Yeah. Quite a number of questions coming in, but we also have comments. A part of questions, there are also very good comments. There is this comment from Raju. I would think if they are bombarded with cases, IR may end up reaching out to he or she to stop such escalation. Okay, only genuine cases to be considered. I think this is regarding escalations. Any issues, any IR issues. So we require it to be genuine cases. Okay, very good, Raju. Thank you very much for the comment. So
can I add something here? Kulji, can I add something here? There was a question about this habitual person who goes and complain. We had that. This person, every small thing, she goes to the labor department, and labor department questions us. I reversed it. I started visiting the labor department and created some relationship with them.
Exactly.
And finally, we thought this person was abusing. Every time she called to see, they think she was right until they heard our part of the story. And I told them, you please come to our office, see how we treat our people, this. And then they had a different understanding. A little bit of effort. Later, when that person go and complained again, the labor told them, look, we have seen your office, we've seen your benefits and all that. I don't know why you are complaining. So labor became on our side. That person started complaining and she left the office. She left the group. So there are people. Now, another thing that's happening is serial claimants. People are going to jobs, losing their jobs, and they're going to the IR department to complain to get money. So when you have serial claimants, the ministry now has picked this up, and they are looking into the matter. And if people are just wasting the court's time and the ministry's time, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Peter, there's some sort of action that the ministry can take towards the person. Correct me if I'm wrong here, if I'm correct here.
No, the problem is at the moment, when the conciliation fails and the matters referred to the court, there is no filtering system. So the court will determine whether he's a serial claimant or not.
So if the court determines it, what can be done?
Then there is a serial claimant. Then of course it's a negative for him, for the employee, because that is a habit. He's making use of the court. Yeah, he's making use of the court as a gateway to milk more money.
Yeah.
And I think the court will not allow that court to be abused to that extent.
Is there any fine or anything against this person? Can anything be done to
But there
stop
was one case where it went right till the Court of Appeal, from the Industrial Court to the High Court and to the Court of Appeal. And the judgment given by the Court of Appeal, knowing that this is a serial claimant, he says, if in future you do this again, there could be a contempt proceedings against you.
Wow. Okay.
So that means you better not go to prison, because you might as well stop this. You have to stop
Abuse
this.
the due process. Yeah. Abuse
You
the due
don't
process.
abuse it. Don't abuse it. And taking away fruitful time of the judicial officers.
Yes.
And also for the employees, not a good example as well.
Correct.
Okay, I think this also ties back to Sinho's comment. My question about habit influenced by social media information, and also trying their luck to see if compensation can be obtained. So I think we spoke about this. Okay, Dr. Yas, you want to take on the next question?
Yeah, I think this one comes from Farah. All right. For demotion, would a change of salary tantamount to fundamental breach of employment terms? Mr. Peter, perhaps you can answer that.
Now, for a demotion, once you are demoted, of course, your salary will accordingly be also reduced, because that is pursuant to a disciplinary process that has taken place. And the punishment given is a demotion.
Right.
So demotion, you cannot maintain the same salary.
Mm-hmm.
There is a salary structure.
Mm-hmm.
So you bring it up. But the problem is, when you demote somebody, you must make sure you can't demote a person when he was hired in the first place as a manager lower than the manager's post.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You got to be careful.
Yep.
Because that can be a problem. You can't say, now you hired you as a manager, I'm going to demote you as a supervisor. No, you can't do that. Then he can walk out on constructive dismissal.
Right.
Okay.
So basically, people, the HR people, they really have to be very, very careful when you want to demote someone. So basically, look at the contract, look at, what are the things that they have actually hired this person for. And of course, that refers to not only to the private sector, but also to the public sector. Right.
If, for example, it is not pursuant to a disciplinary proceedings, but he's just unilaterally changed the salary,
Mm-hmm.
that would be a fundamental breach.
Okay.
There will be a clear-cut fundamental breach. You can't unilaterally reduce a person's salary.
Okay, very good. Okay, so we have a comment from Raju for
Mr.
the
Simon once.
I have a question. So if you're going to demote a manager, what
Yes.
position then? The next position available is an assistant manager.
Maybe the demotion is not the right punishment.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you must look at some other, maybe suspend him without salary for 2 weeks, and then no bonus for year 1 and year 2. You can do that, not a problem, because you're not taking away anything. You're refraining from giving because of his disciplinary process. Or suspend him with a salary reduction.
Okay.
Not salary, suspend him so that he will know and give him a firm final warning letter.
Mhm.
So that is enough.
Right.
He knows the next time he does that, that's the end of him. I mean, if it's done in a proper way, it has to be done in a proper way, not in a haphazard way.
I think what's most important for the audience out there, when you want to demote or when you feel that a person needs to be demoted, you have to be very, very careful to actually look, not to just demote the person, but to find ways how this person can actually realize that he is being, in bracket, demoted. All right, like what Tuan Peter was saying, because you can't, as a person who's in HR, you can't just take that harsh kind of actions to the person, because your employee has their rights as well.
Agree.
So very, very careful on that. Yep.
Okay, having said that, there's another question that came in from Farad. This is about would a demotion and the reduction of salary in the demotion be considered as double punishment?
Okay, demotion and reduction in salary need not be considered as a double punishment because it is a salary structure. So the salary for that position is this X amount. So you can't remain lower position and maintain the same salary as what you were earning prior to your demotion. That will not make sense. So there is no double punishment. Double punishment where you not only demote him, but you also suspend him.
Oh,
You see, then it's a double punishment.
okay.
One punishment is enough.
Right.
People already feel it. Don't make it, looks like it is a bit too aggressive.
Okay, next we have another question. I like the session. There's so many questions coming in. Okay, so let's look at Christine's Lau question. Hi, can the company place a resigned employee on garden leave even if did not mention this clause in an employment contract? Are there any consequence for an employee who is placed on garden leave?
Okay, first of all, I think we must understand here is if the company placing a resigning employee, so the employee has given notice that he's resigning.
Yeah.
And I think the purpose here is that it's a confidential or there is a conflict of interest probably for the position that he's going to in the next company, probably. So to avoid that, they don't want him to get access to a lot of things in the company and put him on garden leave. I think you have to be careful. He is complying with the law of resigning. And he has given his notice of resignation. And you, by doing that, it can be, and you're putting him on leave, he has got every right to remain in the company after he has resigned, until his notice period is completed.
Yeah.
If you are taking away that right, can be a kind of, forcing him or forced resignation. So you can amount to that, even though he's resigned, but you are pushing him away before even he can fulfill his notice period. So garden leave is only for a very specific purpose. Right?
Such as?
It could be, for example, if he wants to pursue some other career, right? They are more worried about the fact that there will be a conflict of interest and taking away all the secrets of the company. So they are putting him in garden. I know his good intention of putting him on garden leave, but why not get his consent? get his consent first rather than unilaterally deciding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you will understand. I think there is no harm going on garden leave with consent. It takes away your legal liability. You are in a good books with the employee as well, because you consulted him and given him a chance and explained to him why they have to put him on garden leave, and that will be perfectly fine. So always discuss with him. Talk to
Okay,
him.
perception, general public perception when a person is on garden leave is because they have done something wrong. So that's general perception, you know. So so if you don't have unilateral consent, so that means you're saying Mr. Peter is not right.
You will have to discuss it with the employee concerned. Don't do it unilaterally and just give him a notice to say you go on garden leave.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a right approach to take. Any issues can be resolved.
Okay.
I don't want him here because there is a conflict of interest in business dealings.
Okay, fantastic. Agreed.
So I can understand. I think the employee understands as well.
Yeah.
And he will be prepared to go on garden leave, no problem.
He's getting paid for it, so okay.
Getting
Yeah.
paid for it, not an issue.
Yeah.
But can we do this? Can we pay off his notice period and say we'll pay you off the notice period? You
Better
can go.
still. Better still. There will be a better approach.
Better deal. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of companies do. They pay you off.
Yeah,
and
they
say,
will give him and pay him off so that, you
and
sever
that's
the...
provided
Yeah.
by law anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, it provided. In lieu of, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay. Very good. Okay.
I think Ajit, Mr. Simon and Mr. Peter, what Mr. Peter was trying to say also, the way I say it, because I'm not an HR person particularly, although I do love HR so much. Yeah, HR so much. The way I see it is that most importantly is the communication between the HR, all right, with the employee. All right. So before taking any actions, number one, the person definitely you need to know the rights and also the policies that the companies have. And at the same time, try to make the person understand, before taking any actions. I think harsh actions is definitely not something that you would want to do, but having a conversation with using the right terms, I think that's most importantly, because most of the time when I see people in HR, sometimes when you don't communicate the right way, even your body language and the terms that you use, it can actually have some effects on that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Great. I think this is a very good conversations. Like Ajit was saying also, we've got a lot of questions coming in right now. There is this comment from Dr. Chitra. Ajit did mention she's a very good partner of MIHRM. Great insights from the panel, right? And engaging leadership constitutes a holistic approach that cuts across HR and business to strengthen and harmonize workplace culture and relations in a diverse workspace. So she touched upon on leadership. So when we talk about leadership and industrial relations, how do you see the importance of leadership here, Mr. Peter and also Mr. Simon? I go with Mr. Peter first.
Okay. Engaging leadership cuts across HR. And HR personnel can also be a fantastic leader, showing the way, the correct way of doing things. And that is going to reverberate throughout the organization as being the right approach to deal with issues. And if we can do that, getting people sitting down together and working out a solution to a problem, that is leadership. You can't have a better leadership than that he is not criticizing somebody, but engaging everybody in, see what would be the best solution in a given situation. In that way, I think people will be more prepared to accept the solution rather than a one-sided a dictatorial approach to take. This was the former times that we were under. Remember when I worked under one CEO, and this is a local CEO at a multinational company. The first time I was recruited, I was given a task, and the task was make sure the table in the conference room is removed by 12:05. I don't know why they call it 12:05. So I said, fine. I was delayed by 8 minutes, and the table was coming out, and this person, a short guy, came and told me, use your thinking cap, and he pointed his finger at my head. I was very offended. And he's a leader, all right, but do you have to say it like that? You have to deal with problems like that the way he handled it. But then that is the old school of thought, right? Those days, that's what they did. So after 6 months, he says, you are still here, right? He said, yes, I'm still here. So these are the things that we have to look at. And that is what you mean by to strength to a holistic approach that cuts across HR.
Fantastic. Very good. Simon, you want to add on?
A quick one, Simon. Yep.
The words that Chitra, thank you, Chitra, for the thing that you have sent here. And engaging leadership today, increasingly, CEOs today are recognizing that HR is important, and in terms of keeping people, and even CEOs are getting involved in HR. In some companies now, HR are directly reporting to the CEO, and no more to finance or no more to, but directly. Yes. He wants to know the pulse of the people inside. Are they going to leave me? Is there something that I'm not doing? So increasingly, HR has become a very important component in even masters and PhDs. The component of HR is also discussed there. And now HR is being invited to sit in the board of CEOs. When board meetings, HR is invited to sit in CHROs, and they talk about HR. So they know the importance of HR. Engagement is important, but as correctly put by Chitra, it starts from the leadership. Yeah. If the leadership is there to just drive for money, then it becomes a master-servant relationship. Yep. No more the engagement. People will leave, and that is something that we did 30, 40 years ago. Today, they know that if one key engineer leaves and they can't, the whole operation in a certain area might be affected. So how do I engage him? But CEOs, young CEOs today are what you call it, turun pada. And they meet the engineers, they meet people at the oil field, they meet people at the palm oil estates to understand what is going on. All right. So that is increasingly going, yes. Right leadership, engaging leadership will constitute a holistic approach that cuts across HR and other business avenues. All right. Thank you.
Well said, Simon. Okay, anyway, for the audience and for everyone, we are approaching the last 7 minutes of our discussion. So we are going to take the last two final questions and then go for a close. Okay, this question comes from Sinho. Sinho, how to manage negative or bad apples and toxic employee? They are experts in influence directly or indirectly aside from counseling sessions. Okay, maybe I like question to Mr. Simon because he's from the practice. He's got a long practice in Sunway. So how do you manage your bad apples?
If I had a choice, I'll terminate him instantly. If I had a choice, but that I have so many other issues. It don't only take one bad apple to spoil the whole bunch of them. So exactly. I will do this. I will call him. Now, sometimes these toxic employees, it's not particularly their the office that's creating an issue for him. He has some past background, and he's bringing in that into the office. He fears to see people. He fears of being that. So I will call him, or get my people to call him and talk, find out what's his problem, where can we improve and all that. And more toxic people that I've met, and they have got a issue from their past that they are bringing it in. So you identify that. Once you identify, you help him resolve that issue, it helps. Now, if he goes overboard and he's saying this company no good, oh, yo, Sunway, we are not that, I will get statement from the employees. I will follow due process. I will give him a show cause to explain this is disturbing the company as well as the leadership and all that. And I may pursue on the industrial relations part of it. But my first approach is to sit down and talk to him. If he refuses to listen, I just tell him that I wish to tell you that this is coming to our, if you still carry on with this, we will take the next course of action that deem fit. Either he gets the message or he resigns. Now, but toxic employees, I was able to turn one or two back. They were brilliant fellas, but they had very bad past, very bad employers before. And then when they joined us, they're talking, oh, the employer can do this. You all better check your EPF. Huh? So finally, one day I said, okay, very good. You're very worried about people. You join my HR department. You come and see how we are treating people.
Yeah.
He came, and after a while, he's still in HR. I think
good job.
He had this thing about helping people. I found out when he was in another company, the boss was really not paying salary. So he came with all sort of this apprehension. And when in Sunway, we said we are transparent, we are paying, and yet we may not be super duper, but we still care for the employees. He changed. And he came into HR. Now he's taking care of compensation and benefit. He's still in Sunway. No need.
This is a demonstration of true leadership. Thank you very much, Mr. Simon. Okay, Dr. Yas, to you. Last final question.
Okay. This is the last final question that we have from Dexter. Is it appropriate for a company to place a contractual employee on garden leave as a means of shortening the employment period before the contract ends? Perhaps Mr. Peter can answer this.
Yeah, I think this comes down to the basic principle that when an employee is engaged or employed, he's there to work. For no critical reason, his duty is to work. And putting him on a garden leave can be interpreted as a form of an abuse.
Okay.
So you've got to be very careful, because he can go out on constructive dismissal and say that I'm supposed to work. Management uses garden leave to circumvent my contractual rights. So I think that can mean a lot, right? So that is the short of it, up and short.
Okay. Thank you very much. I like the answer very much, straight to the point.
I will agree what Peter said. It may lead to constructive dismissal, because there's a plan here, putting him on garden leave and hoping that he will resign.
He will resign. Yeah.
You're constructing the dismissal already. So I believe he will walk out on constructive dismissal. I agree with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow, Dr. Yas, this is so amazing. Can you imagine the energy? Wow, we just started this as our first session and we had so many questions and there's so much of interaction. Thank you to the audience. So let's move to our closing. Thank you very much to Mr. Peter and Mr. Simon for being such a sport and for sharing wonderful insights with us. And some of it are candidly. We started with some pre-planned questions and mostly was on candid basis.
I really we have to thank the audience, particularly, for participating. And of course, that this weekend is a long weekend. So for those who have actually make an effort to watch us on this MIHRM TV, it's highly appreciated. And of course, now we have to thank these two experts because in the conversation among them, I mean among us today, this particular afternoon, that we see industrial relations is not just about law. All right, because some people may have that kind of thought, but it also involves about judgment, communication, the leadership, and the decisions that one has to make. So again, I stress upon on the communications and understanding the law as well. So that, so with that, I hope that everyone has that kind of understanding, which I'm sure everyone has already got, but whatever it is that the speakers have actually emphasized on that.
Okay, to our viewers, thank you very much for joining us for our first episode of MIHRM Insight. We commit to bring this on a monthly basis, and this is going to be on a Saturday, 3 to 4:30, to allow more people to join us. We are going to bring in more experts to talk about latest issues. And if you are you need any support in HR training, IR strategy, or any consultation work, do reach out to MIHRM. The link is being published below. You can get in touch with us, or you can call us in any directly to MIHRM office. Okay, we'll
And
see you in our next episode. Have a great day and bye-bye.
Ajit, before we say bye-bye, for the audience, if you do have any topics that you feel that you want us to cover, all right,
Yes.
I think we are most welcome, all right, because that would be great because you have some issues, you want us to get an expert to talk about it, let us know. So reach out to MIHRM, yeah?
Okay,
So
one
with
more
that-
last final thing. No
Yeah.
bye-bye yet. One more last final thing before we go. Happy Thaipusam, happy holidays for those who are celebrating. Okay, and now, okay, let's say bye-bye to everyone.
Yes, yeah,
Thank you.
bye-bye,
Thank you.
thank you all.
Happy Thaipusam, happy holidays to all of you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. Take care.
Okay.